Hi Tarot Tribe, Oracle Babes and Mystic Witches, it's Ethany, and today I'm doing a video response to the lovely Imogen Walters Oracle Obsessed tag. So I'm going to put the link to the original video in the description below and over at ethany.com, where I also have a transcription of this video for you. So like many people in this amazing community, I found tarot before I worked with Oracle decks. So I have a much larger collection of tarot decks than I do Oracle decks, but I love working with Oracle decks. Gosh, that was a lot of times saying Oracle decks, wasn't it? So here are the questions. Let's get to it, and I would love to see your response if you feel drawn to answer the questions too, and I'm sure Imogen would love to see what you have to say. I've got a few decks to show through this as well, so I've got my lovely pile. So the first one is, what was your very first Oracle deck? So my very first Oracle deck is the Angels, Gods and Goddesses Oracle cards by Tony Carmine Solero. By this is like the old box. I don't think you can get it in this box anymore. I love this deck. I have had it for many years. It is a really great all-round deck. It's quite gentle. I worked with it for a very long time after I was introduced to the deck by my tarot teacher. And I even used this deck at work with my teams when we used to do morning prayers every morning. It's really beautiful for, I don't know what the backs look like. I'd love to see if someone's got an, I'll slow down, a newer version of this deck, if they've changed it. I used to take this into work and we'd have morning prayers where everyone would pick a card and we would have them on our desk for the day. And one of the things I really like about this deck is that it's got goddesses and gods and angels in it. So I feel like it's really inclusive. And I love that it's beautiful for daily guidance. It's also really lovely for wrapping up a reading. It's got enough of a little bit of information down the bottom, and the guidebook is really good too. So this is the first deck that the first deck that I can remember getting. I'm pretty sure it's the first one I ever got. We are talking a very long time ago, people. I am old now. I have been reading for a long time, so this is one that. So beautiful deck. I'm pretty sure this is still in print too with Blue Angel. Okay, so that was my first Oracle deck, and it still is a treasured member of my collection, and I would never get rid of this. I bought more than one copy of this before, and I've sent off copies of this to many people around the world. It has a very special place in my heart. It's one of those decks that definitely has sentimental value. The second question is, what is your current favorite deck? Now, besides my Awakened Soul Oracle deck, I have been using this deck a lot. My Chakra Mindset Balance Oracle cards. I have been using this nearly every day for client readings. I use this in my Aura Soma Soul and Spiritual readings. I use this for my chakra tarot readings. And what I love about this deck is that it's the back. It's got a great guidebook too. Is that it can really help pinpoint what's going on with your chakras. So it's got 7 cards for each chakra, and it's not all positive cards. We've got some cards in this deck that are that are quite, they're going to get you to be honest with yourself. So they do have the chakra cards, but they have, as you can see, some different ones too. And I find it really, really helpful to help me pinpoint what needs clearing or what energy needs to be embraced with myself or a client. Yeah, and it's a really beautiful deck too. I've done an unboxing video of this deck on my channel as well, so if you want to take a look at that and see more of this deck, you can check that out. But I have been using this nearly every day, so I have been really vibing with that. So when I have to pick that for this one, because it's been one that I've used nearly every day. What is your most used deck? I have a few that I use very frequently. One of them is the Chakra Mindset, my Awakened Soul Oracle, the Sacred Creators Oracle, and my Plant Ally cards are probably the ones that are the most used decks in my collection. I'm just getting I've got a few of them. I'm surrounded by decks. I know I'm very, very lucky that I get to spend my time being surrounded by decks. What is your least used deck? This is question number 4. I have to admit, I do have more Oracle decks than Tarot decks that remain unused. Too many to really share, but I took this opportunity to look at some of my Oracle decks and think, okay, well, what ones haven't I been using that I would like to use more? And the first one that came up, and I've done an unboxing of this too, is The Goddesses of the New Light by Pamela Matthews, who is the artist of the Orosoma Tarot. I want to use this more. This is such a beautiful deck to work with as well with ritual, especially if you like working with different goddesses from around the world and you don't have, like statues of every goddess, because that can be impossible unless you have unlimited space and unlimited cash. So this is a beautiful deck because, her artwork is just fucking gorgeous. I love the Orosoma Tarot deck so much. You guys have seen my videos. If you've followed me on social media anywhere, you know how much I love that deck. I post it all the time. So it's a really, really gorgeous deck. I believe she still has copies available. Persephone. And what a beautiful deck to use in ritual. So I do want to use this one more. And it comes in a case with a scarf, like a little piece of silk, and a guidebook. Well, that's the version that I've got. And then the second one is also another goddess one, which is Journey to the Goddess Realm by Lisa Porter. Really feeling the goddess vibes today, everybody. Really, really feeling the goddess vibes. Beautiful backs. That mandala is so gorgeous. I just have, I don't know, because I'm a collector too, so I tend to get a little bit, I haven't bought as many tarot decks over the last year and oracle decks than maybe I have before, and I feel like that's a good thing. But I really need to use more of what I've got. It's so gorgeous. So I'm hoping to use this more as well, especially with ritual and magic. So those are two decks that I haven't used very much that I would like to use more. Okay, question number 5. How did you learn to read oracle cards? So I learned how to read oracle cards while formally studying the tarot. So my tarot teacher, my first formal tarot teacher outside of all the books that I read on my own and all the practice I did on my own and with my friends, my willing guinea pigs at the time, she was also my tarot reader, and she used oracle decks in her readings all the time. So she really introduced me to working with them as a part of a complementary practice with tarot readings. So that was really where I came to enjoy oracle decks. And there certainly wasn't, I mean, I guess it can be said, the same thing can be said for tarot decks. There wasn't as many as they are available now. We are very blessed. But I learnt through my tarot teacher. Number 6, what do you use oracle cards for? So I use oracle cards and oracle decks in many different ways. I have Oracle Wednesday, which I do every week on Instagram and Facebook, and to my newsletter, Amazing Peeps. So I use a lot of different oracle decks on Oracle Wednesday every Wednesday. I use them to center a reading if there's a lot going on. I feel like oracles can be really good to just like focus it down and get it to be really kind of like narrow the reading and have a good vibe around it. I use oracle decks for daily guidance. I have a couple on my altar along with a couple of tarot decks. And probably my favorite way of working with oracle decks is to wrap up a client reading. So I close out the reading with an oracle just to say, and this is a final message from Spirit, if there's anything else or anything that needs to be communicated, or if there is a confirmation that is to be said again. I often find that the oracle card will say that. And I actually have done a blog and a video on how to use oracle decks in a reading. So I'll pop that over on the transcription and also in the description below. Next question, how do you read the cards? With the guidebook, intuitively, or a bit of both? So as with anything that I do with the tarot or any form of divination, I use my intuition above everything. But I also love looking at the guidebooks for oracle cards, as there's so many messages in oracle cards. With tarot, there is transferable information in each of the cards. But with oracle, because they are so open, it's nice to see the point of view from the creator and to see what they have envisioned in the card themselves and the message that they were hoping to impart and gift to us. So I actually love looking at the card and then also reading as well what the author or the creator has given us as a part of oracle decks. Number 8, do you use spreads? Yes, but not all the time. So it really does depend on the ways I'm using oracle decks. I love to create tarot and oracle spreads, and if you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll know that. I have a library of them over on my website, but I do also swear that I didn't plan this, but I also have a blog post which has a few spreads that I specifically designed to be used with tarot and oracle together, and I'll pop that link over in the transcription and also below as well. So I do, but often with oracle it's like a one card draw, so it's less than with tarot. Number 9, do you mix oracle cards with other divination systems, such as the tarot runes and then the Norman? Yes, I've talked about tarot already quite a bit. I work with many different divination and cartomancy systems. I love runes, and I've got many different forms of stone sets. I have my own Lenormand oracle, and I've got quite a few different Lenormand decks. And of course, my first love tarot. And I also really, I've got pendulums and scrying, and I've done like a part of my witchy poo training is to work with nearly every divination system under the sun. But I also love, and I do a lot of psychometry, which is where you would hold you would hold a photo or an item of someone that you want to get a reading off of. And I really, really like that practice as well. So I'm like an all-round oracle, I guess, in that way. Oracle, get it. So I do use lots of different forms of divination. Number 10, in your opinion, and you all know I'm very full of those, what makes for a great deck? So two things that I have come up for with this is diversity. I feel like that is really important and something I'm glad is getting a lot of attention. It's good to see that more and more mainstream decks are becoming more representational of modern life. It's something that needs to keep happening, and it's amazing that our community has really been the ones to drive that. And it's just beautiful to see. And the second thing is thoughtfulness. I think that's something that's really important. So this is just my opinion, but I was asked. But if there is any creator who is just pumping out decks every 3 months to make money, it's really apparent and really clear to the community, or at least, I pay attention to that. Creators, authors, artists, and publishers totally deserve to make money. People can spend money however they want, and I am a deck creator myself. So I'm not slamming or anything like that at all, but I'm just saying that there's something when it feels fabricated because it's such a production line, specifically from, creators that just do this over and over and over again with no real, original thought behind it or like real intention. It's just to have something new. I feel like you can feel it, but that's just me. Number 11, what do you feel are the differences between tarot and oracle cards for fellow tarot readers? There are clear differences between tarot and oracle decks as far as I'm concerned. Tarot has a very specific structure. It is traditionally 78 cards, whereas oracle decks can have as many cards as the creator wants it to have. I've seen some decks have as little as 33 cards for oracles and all the way up to 100 plus cards. The tarot has major arcana cards, minor arcana cards, and the court cards as a part of its core structure, which is the same in different tarot decks. It's transferable, whereas oracle cards don't reflect that same structure. And the last real thing that stands out for me as far as differences is that when you learn the tarot, you can often translate your knowledge from one deck to another or in a similar tradition. So say you started off with the Thoth deck and then you wanted to work with the Urban Tarot. Perfect. Those two tarot decks are both Thoth based. You can transfer what you know about the Queen of Wands to the Queen of Wands in that deck. Or at least transfer some of it because the art may be a little bit different. Whereas oracle decks are all standalone. Keywords may be the same, like you'll find a lot of decks will have things like grounding in them and cleansing and things like that. But they aren't following a specific tradition or a specific structure. So for me, those are the major differences. And there is a difference, and I feel like when you create a deck, to really know and represent correctly what it is, and it's not from I'm a purist. It's just like, if I'm going to buy a tarot deck, I want it to be a tarot deck, and if I'm buying an oracle deck, I want it to be an oracle deck. That's it. That's all. Okay, number 12. Do you have any super unusual or unique decks? So I have a couple that I would say that I haven't seen around a lot. The first one is the Crystal Lights Oracle deck, which I got over 10 years ago. God, it's probably going to be near 15 years ago in Australia. I'm not sure it's even in print anymore. It's a crystal... Okay. It was 2004, so it was a long time ago. It's a crystal deck. They talk about the Crystal Guardians. It's a massive deck. I haven't seen anyone with this deck, at least on YouTube. And it's a really sweet deck. I don't work with it a lot, mostly because of the size. I had a reading up on Etsy a while ago using this deck, but I haven't used it in a long while, so I'd say this is one of my rarer decks for sure. So that's that one. That's the back. How many cards are in here? I don't even know. But it's a collector's item, and I wouldn't part with it for sure. And then I also was gifted this beautiful deck from a wonderful Tarot Tribe member in Poland, which is really lovely and treasured. And I've shown this before. Funny how they're both little crystal decks. I really, really like the artwork. It's gorgeous. It's simple, but it's really beautiful. So those would be two of the more rare decks. I'm not sure if you can get this little Polish deck anywhere that I have in my collection. Number 13, what is your current deck crush? Now, I'm sure this is going to be like everybody's deck crush, but the Sacred Creator, God, my nose is itchy today. The Sacred Creators Oracle deck. I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't love this deck. Man, it's just so beautiful. I work with it a lot. It gets a lot of use both with clients and for myself. This is by Chris Donnelly. And the guidebook is just a maze. I'm sure a few people are going to talk about that one being their crush. And then the last one is, if you could use only one deck from now on, what would it be? And it would be my own, the Awakened Soul Oracle. And I'm not just saying this to be an asshole or to be all like self-promoty, but I actually really love working with this deck. And I think Danielle Mulligan, my beautiful Danielle Mulligan, the artist who helped me bring this to life, just did such a phenomenal job with the art that I could just work with this deck alone and be super happy. And yeah, I'm just super proud of her work. And you know, it's quite the thing to hold your own creation in your hand after all, over a year of work. So thank you to Imogen for the list of awesome oracle questions, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening or day.